What is up, beautiful people? I hope you are having an amazing January the 5th. And the reason I bring light to that date is because we are simply only 5 days into the brand new year. And I already had to give myself a positive pep talk. Now, I have a feeling if this is happening to me, it might very well be happening to you. And so I thought I would share what I did, what happened, and just the entire situation with you so that if you start to go through this, or maybe you've already gone through this and just didn't know what to do, that you've got some ideas and some resources. So today, again, January 5th, we're 5 days into the brand new year. Now, I am not a New Year's resolution guy because I understand the dynamic failure that they are known for. And so I don't set resolutions, but I do have big, grandiose goals. I do have massive dreams. I do believe in awesomeness and abundance, and I want the best and um, most extravagant life possible in all buckets, in my health and fitness, in my relationships, in my finances, in my faith. Like I want everything to be overflowing. January 5th, we had to have a chat. And by we, I mean me. And so if you've listened to my podcast at all, you know I did an episode called Your Inner Critic versus Your Inner Coach, or Your Inner Chump versus Your Inner Champ. Well, today I had to have that little battle. My inner critic came out and started talking shit, for lack of a better term. He started telling me that I'm not doing enough, that I'm not successful enough, that I need to be pushing harder. I need to be doing this. Why aren't you doing that? Like, I mean, he was pretty aggressive. I'm going to be honest. And he was able to get me into a place of, or he was able to get me out of alignment for, I'd say probably, 15, 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour. And then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, like go back to the fundamentals of what you told yourself you were going to do this year. Like, why are you doing all the things that you've set out to do? Like, what's the reason behind? And again, this is a conversation I'm having with myself. Don't think I'm crazy. Hopefully you guys understand the dynamics of the inner coach versus the inner critic. If you haven't listened to that podcast episode, I would do so. It's a really great episode. It's gotten awesome feedback. But it really is something that I use on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis is reaching for that inner champ and trying to quiet that inner chump. Well, today the chump got the best of me for about half an hour. And so what I did is I went back to the basics of why I do what I do. Like, why do I own a fitness studio? Why do I have an online coaching program? Why do I write books? Why do I coach clients? Why do I help people with transformation and optimization of their lives? Well, it's because I love to help people. It's because at the core value of what I love to do, what I get to do in this world is I get to impart my knowledge and my wisdom based on the success that I've had onto other people so that they can live a life of abundance and awesomeness. So it simply goes back to the basic, simple principle of helping people. That's really my core value when it comes to what I do and why I do it. And so all I had to do today, and I say all I had to do, I mean, again, it was a pretty intense conversation inside of my brain, was go back to the basics of my why. And I know that sounds very simplistic and very like, cliche and very meme like. It's like, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Start with why. I'm not trying to be a meme and I'm not trying to be cliche about it. But what I want you to understand is like, that's why and how I was able to get myself back into alignment quickly is I went back and said, listen, all I care about, right? The success that I'm going to have in my life is going to be predicated on one thing. And that one thing is the amount of people and the quality of help that I provide to other human beings, whether that be at my fitness studio through a fitness program, whether that be through nutritional coaching, whether that be from, life optimization, life coaching, whatever it might be. Like, those are how I'm going to win. That is how I am going to succeed in life. If you want to have a successful life, help more people. That's always been kind of my personal mantra. And so today, January 5th, 5 days into the new extravaganza, I was able to get a little bit out of alignment because I started judging myself. I just did a podcast yesterday saying 13 things you need to give up. And one of those things was judgment. One of those things was also perfectionism. So I'm not perfect, right? And so just because I did a podcast yesterday that said, hey, 13 things you should give up, judging yourself is one of those things. And then the very next day, I found myself in a judgment fight with myself. And so, like I said on the podcast, you're not going to be perfect at anything in life. But the key is self-awareness, being aware enough to know, okay, I'm uncomfortable with this scenario. Like, I'm uncomfortable with this judgment of myself. Where's it coming from? Right. And a lot of times where it's coming from, I've got a lot going on right now. And this is something that I'm aware of in my life. I've got a lot going on. I've got a lot of irons in the fire. I've got a live event this Saturday. There's a lot of metrics and moving pieces and parts and people and hotels and ballrooms and things of that nature that go with having a live event that require a massive amount of my time, not to mention getting the content ready to serve people at the highest level, making sure that the speakers are ready to go, making sure that everything is in perfect alignment. Again, I use the word perfect, and I know it won't be. There'll be some hiccups. I just got a message from the hotel right before I hit play on this that said, hey, our restaurant that you're planning on having your guests eat at for lunch and maybe breakfast will be closed. Huh? Right? So it's those things that you've got to manage that come at you with rapid fire. And that's not to mention my other regular business, right? My fitness studio. I've got to make sure that that thing is running and thriving and people are getting what they need to get out of that. My personal coaching business. I've got to make sure my private coaching clients are taken care of. My Thrive Forever Fit program. I've got to make sure that group coaching program is flourishing and those people are taken care of. My free Facebook group, the Wellness Lab Launchpad, I've got to make sure those people are taken care of. So regardless of how I'm feeling, regardless of how much shit that inner critic is talking, I've got to get back into alignment really quickly. Like, I don't get the opportunity to stay out of alignment for long periods of time. And that's a good thing, right? This is where most people go south, is they stay out of alignment. This happens to them on January the 5th. They don't recognize it, or they just bottle it up and they isolate on it. They don't do anything about it to get back into alignment. And the next thing you know, it's February the 15th. And then you're like, holy shit, what happened? What happened? We're a month and a half into the new year, and I'm so off the rails from where it is that I wanted to be. So this is why I wanted to do this video today, because I'm saying, hey, listen, Jay Nixon, if this is going to happen to you, my man, it means it's happening to thousands and thousands and probably millions of people out there. And if you can do a video that maybe helps one of those people be like, okay, thank you, brother. Like, this was happening to me as well. And I appreciate the acknowledgement that I'm not alone in the struggle, right? You're not alone in that. Like, it's why the podcast yesterday, I talked about it. I'm like, we've got to stop judging ourselves so harshly, right? And I'm doing a lot. I really am. It's not like I'm sitting around not doing anything. That's the crazy part. And for me, that's usually when it happens. And that's what makes it so confusing. Like, I'll be busy and I'll be so busy that I'm not present. Make sense? I'm so busy that I'm not present. I've got all these things going on and I wasn't being present in the moment. And that's when the inner critic, that inner chump, that's when he attacks. That's when he knew that I was a little bit vulnerable. He knew that I was spread out everywhere. And he's like, okay, now's my opportunity to go in and judge this guy, to go in and tell him, hey, you're not doing enough. What are you doing? Why are you doing? What do you mean you do? What are you doing alive? Come on, man. Like the voice started, right? And so I had to become aware of that. And what I did is I got back to presence. I got back to, what can I do right now? What can I do in this very moment? What's the next best decision that I can make that will get me back into alignment? And I did that by attaching that emotion back to my why. You see, we get a lot of emotions that come through our brain, right? Judgment is kind of an emotion because it makes us feel out of sorts. It makes us feel overwhelmed. It makes us feel chaotic. It makes us feel like a little bit of maybe shame or guilt or all these bizarre things, right? So it's emotional. But those emotions are worthless. Those emotions don't bring value. Those are negative emotions. And so instead of letting myself ruminate on those negative emotions, I simply got back to why it is that I do all of these things that I do. And that is to help people. And that emotion feels really good. That emotion is positive and powerful. That emotion really resonates with me, and it makes me happy internally, externally. It makes everything I do better. And so when I tap back into that emotion of why I do what I do, I was able to easily slide right back into the present moment of, okay, Jay, let's just relax. Everything's cool, right? Everything's cool. All you need to do is be present in the moment and make the next best decision that you can make. And that's going to be good enough. And I was able to calm myself down, get myself back into the present moment, start listening to the inner champ, right? And that's what got me back into my alignment pretty quickly. Half an hour. That's not bad, but I'll take that, right? Those are those battles that you have to win with yourself, right? Winning's not easy. Winning's going to come with conflict. And a lot of the times it's going to be internal conflict. And so if you can recognize the internal conflict with self-awareness, and then you can quickly get back to the positive, powerful emotions of why you do what you do, what's important to you, you'll be able to get yourself back in alignment really quickly. And you'll be able to quiet that inner chump, that inner critic, that inner judgment. You'll be able to shut that down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay present. I'm going to focus on the next best decision I can make. I know I'm prepared, right? I know my intention is in the right place. I know I'm going to show up massive on this Saturday with big energy, helping anybody and everybody that's in that room get information that they need to get so that they can live the best life that they have coming to them, right? So they can feel awesomeness and abundance and positive, powerful energy and frequency, right? And so the next thing I'm going to do when I finish this video is I'm going to anchor, right? I'm going to anchor this refocused emotion, right? See, because nothing bad happened, right? It's January the 5th. And did I already get in a little fight? Yes, that's okay. That's totally okay. Adversity is going to be consistent. And that just means you're on the right track, right? Your opportunities are going to show up in the form of challenges and adversities and sometimes inner judgment. And so now that I've got myself back to presence, I've got myself back in the moment, I've got myself back to just breathing, right? In touch with who I am, why I do what I do. As soon as I finish this video, I'm going to anchor this feeling by getting a little bit of physical activity in. I'm going to get on my Peloton, or I'm going to go for a walk with Rudy, one or the other, maybe both. And that's going to anchor me. That's going to anchor my presence back to it, because I'm going to attach a physiology to that psychology of the presence. And it's going to help me stay in that alignment. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the next best decision that I can make. So guys, I simply just wanted to do this video. I didn't want to rant this long, but I wanted to let you know that it is January the 5th. And if you're struggling, that's 100% okay. Don't judge yourself for it, right? Be okay with that. But get yourself back into alignment by getting really self-aware and getting present in the moment and really attaching that emotional why to what it is that you want to do. If it's weight loss, if it's better relationships, if it's making more money, if it's being more fit, whatever it is, attach that positive, powerful emotion to it, and then make the next best decision that you can make. Remember, little hinges swing big doors. So just make a little positive, powerful decision, and then make another one, and then make another one, and then make another one. Guys, we're going to have an amazing 2020. There's going to be days like this. There's going to be moments like this. Together, we're going to get through. And that's why I wanted to hit you with this video today. Sending you tons of awesomeness, tons of abundance. I'm unbelievably grateful for you. And I want you to have an amazing 2020. Let's go take advantage of this opportunity. All right, guys, love you. And I'll see you back here on the YouTube channel soon. All right, bye.